Hello, welcome to my channel, and today I'll be taking you down to the future. The year is 2037, and one of the things we'll be checking out today is the Hansi Flick style of play. We want to see if how it works in the future, and I want to implement the Hansi Flick pattern of play in the future. So basically, for this case study, we'll be using Liverpool, and one of the things you have to understand with the Hansi Flick pattern of play is he makes use most of the time with the 4-3-3 formation. Plays as wide as possible, move to the final third as quickly as possible, takes more risks with purpose, move almost all the players into advanced positions. So, and also it maximize the amount of space the opposition has between its players. So basically, today we'll be I'll be showing you how to set up this pattern of play, and before we go into the player roles, we have to go straight to the results aspect, where I will show you some of the games we've played. So basically, this is kind of a small sample size so far. I won't really say it's a small sample size because we've played 8 league games, had 2 Champions League games, and 1 EFL Cup, a Community Shield, and some friendly games with the FIFA Club World Cup, because I started implementing this formation with the FIFA World Club Cup also. Our first game, we played a 12-0 against Frontel. We won by 12 goals to. Okay, I'll be showing you. Okay, where we had 54 shots, 27 on target to the opponent, and 57. Okay, that's that. And one of the things you have to understand about this formation as a Flick pattern of play is that it's not a possession focused manager. It's more of a result oriented and to attack the opponent at all time, allowing them no breathing space. We had a 3-1 game against Santos. Okay, we took this one to the extra time, but we lost the extra time to Southampton. And in this save, Southampton is actually one of the strongest teams, because I was with them for like 12 seasons, 2 Premier League and 3 Premier League with 2 Champions League and 1 FA Cup and 1 League Cup before moving to other clubs. So Community Shield, okay, we had a 1. Let's see the result. Let's see the stats. Okay, Southampton is being coached by Pep Guardiola. So 24 shots to our 14, 7 on target to our 2. But basically, back then my players were still trying to grab the formation. Okay, against Chelsea in the UEFA Super Cup, we had 21-10, 11. Our SG was 2.59 to Chelsea 0.6. Possession wise, we were 61-39. So we did good there. And in the league opener against Man United, 20 shots to Man United 8. 8 shots on target to Man United 2. Our XG was 1.7. Possession wise, went 50-50. Okay, so you've seen most of the results and most of the. Okay, let's go to the Aston Villa game. Aston Villa, we had 15 shots to Aston Villa 6, 5 on target to their 4. XG was 1.39 to 0.51 for Aston Villa. So basically, what I'm just trying to show you is that possession wise, the formation isn't really focused basically on possession, but most of the time you average possession of 50, 51. Then against maybe similar opposition, you might end up having a possession of maybe 49 or so. So that's that. Okay, now against. Okay, let me play you through one of the games. This is against AS Roma in our Champions League game. Where we had 25 shots to AS Roma 8, 12 to AS Roma 4. I think last season AS Roma actually won us in the group stage, so they're not a bad side. Let me show you some of the goals. They're not actually a bad side. So our XG was 1.95 to AS Roma 0.86. But possession wise, AS Roma had more of the possession, 52 to our 48. So I'll be taking you through some of the goals to see the pattern of play. Okay, now that was a nice press from my player. AS Roma the team on white. Okay, nice goal. Let's go for the second goal. Now this. Okay, now watch the positioning and the pressing of the team. You realize that in defensive shape 4-3-3. Okay, we've won the ball back. That's our central midfield. Just one touch passes with purpose. No too much sideways pass. The team will end up passing the ball with intention. Watch this. Mostly with intention. No sideways passes or safe passes. Nice goal. We'll take you to the fourth goal. On that goal. Okay. One touch. Okay. Nice one. One touch, goal. So basically that starts with this formation, and actually we didn't only play this I didn't only use this on Liverpool. I had another with Fiorentina to see how it works with a smaller team, and Fiorentina in this save actually, okay, I'll show you there. Fiorentina actually in this save hasn't had the best of time. Media prediction to finish 7th, and most times they have averaged 7th or 10th. Okay, they have been having a very bad season for a long time. The highest they have had in this save was in 2023 where they had 4th position, and 2029 where they finished 4th, and they have not finished higher than that most times, because you can see 7, 8, 8, 7, 5th, 6, 8, 10, and what have you. Last season 11th, so they're not actually a good side. And okay, this was the result. We tested it in pre-season. We lost against Juve in pre-season 0-4, but we won the rest of the games. And okay, our first 2 games in the league against Barry, we had 23 shots to Barry 3, 11 on target to their 1. Barry had more possession. So like I said, this system isn't focused on possession, it's more on how to attack as quickly as possible and in numbers. And against Atlanta, where they had the better of Fiorentina last season, but this season they had 11 to our 21. We had 11 to their 3 on target. Our XG was 2.17. Atlanta had more possession, but we ended up winning. And okay, yeah. So I'll be taking you through some of the goals, so for you to see the pattern of play. Okay, this should be the first goal. One touch. You see, passing with intent or intentions, no sideways pass, just to get the ball as quickly as possible to the opposition area. Okay, this was when we conceded one of the goals. Yeah, that was cheap. And one thing you have to understand with this formation is that the team tries to win the ball as quickly as possible from the front. Okay, second goal. Okay, alright. Okay, Fiorentina, the team in white, which is my team. Okay, you see, straight pass with intention, no sideways passes, and most times one touch, moving the ball as quickly as possible to disorganize the opposition. That's what this style of play, the Hansi Flick pattern is all about. Okay, that's now the result. So you've seen. Okay, so basically I'll be taking you to the player role and instruction for me to show you how okay, for your goalkeeper, you make use of a sweeper keeper, and the player instruction, you'll be using a sweeper keeper with duty in attack. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, one of the things I have to go through first is the mentality aspect. The mentality aspect, you'll be playing with an attacking. But before I go further, I'll explain the player roles. So for your goalkeeper, you'll be using a sweeper keeper in attack, and the player instruction, and I leave it in tackle, adder, and short passing. Okay. And for the two central defenders, we'll make use of ball playing defenders in defend, and player instruction, tackle, adder, and short passing. For your two fullbacks, for the wing back, for your two fullbacks at the left hand side, we make use of, but you can actually interchange. For the left back, we make use of a wing back in attack. And okay, when your team has the ball, it pushes further forward. When the player has the ball, he runs with the ball wide. And for the trigger press, is in balance. And we make use of mark tighter and tackle harder with shorter passing. So one of the reasons why you need this wing back is for him to help in attack and overlap in order to, because like I said earlier, formation, this style of play focuses on moving as much player forward as possible. Why? So as to have more passing options and also to outnumber the opposition. At times you might have five or six versus one, 3 versus 1, 2 versus 1, 5 versus 3 or so against the opposition. So it's to move as much players as possible forward. And most times you see most times when you're in attack, you see almost all your players will be in the opposition area with just your two central midfielders at the center area. So for the right wing and for the right fullback, you make use of fullback in support. And player instruction, shorter pass, mark tighter, and tackle harder. And the reason I kept him in support is because of the winger. The winger is going to be an inverted winger. I'll explain that later, but before that, we'll go to the central midfielder. For defensive midfielder, we leave him in deep line playmaker so that he will help with defense and also in attack. So for this, we make use of mark tighter, tackle harder, and shorter passing, and deep line playmaker in support. Okay, for your two central midfielders, you want to be in a box-to-box midfielder, and for the box-to-box midfielder, it's always in support. But the player instructions: get further forward, shorter pass, tackle harder, and mark tighter. Then for the second central midfielder, you have to leave him in advanced playmaker in attack, and mark tighter, tackle harder, roam from position, short passing. Okay, so for the inside forward, or for the two wingers, one of them will have to be why I said you can interchange is any of them you use as inside forward, he has to be ahead of a wing back. When anyone used as inverted winger, he has to be ahead of a fullback in support. Why? Because this inside forward most times actually plays in a central role, like it cuts inside into midfield to help in attack and to choke the midfield with the wing back bumping forward and helping out. But in this fullback area, most times your inverted winger will actually try to hug the line as long as possible before cutting him. So for the inverted winger, you leave him in attack, mark tighter, tackle harder, get further forward, and also, okay, this one is an in-game instruction, cut inside with ball. So you have to leave him at roam from position. I think basically all these players are in room from position. That's the advanced playmaker, the box-to-box, inverted winger, and the inside winger. All are in room from position. Okay, for your forward or your striker, I decided not to go with the advanced forward, so I use the complete forward. So the complete forward, okay, for now I haven't put him in anything. I just left him to decide for himself. So basically it's just like that. So far that's that. That's your Hansi Flick formation. It's a 4-3-3, and okay, that's that for the player roles. So now we'll have to go to mentality. We make use of the attacking mentality. Why? Because you need the team to be attack oriented and to move in numbers, because this formation works really well with numbers. Why? Because at the end of the day, you're trying to outnumber the opposition as much as possible. So in possession, your instruction, like I said earlier, the Hansi Flick style of play, try to stretch the pitch as much as possible to play as wide as possible. So your attacking width will have to be wide. That's at the extreme wide. Approach play, we use play out of defense, because most of the time your ball playing defenders are the ones that will initiate most of the attacks or build up play for you. So passing directness, you make use of shorter passing and tempo higher. Why? Because you need the ball to be moved as quickly as possible in order to disorient or unsettle the opposition and eventually tire them out. And also to be one of the reasons why you move the ball as quickly as possible is to move the ball quickly and decisively. Because at the end of the day, it's the end results that matters. And in the final third, in Hansi Flick style of play, he doesn't focus on working the ball into the box. It's more of shoot. It's more of a shoot on target. Shoot on sight. Anytime you see there's a goal scoring opportunity, you shoot on sight. That's why you see at the end of the day, most, like as you saw in my results area, you saw that most of the time we outnumbered the opposition in XG and attacking and shots on target or total numbers of shots. And for the dribbling aspects, you make use of the run of defense. Why? Because you want to unsettle the opposition. And also creative freedom, be more expressive, make use of be more expressive. The more expressive instruction will allow more creative players the freedom to play the game with additional vision and flair outside of the confine of a team tactical setup, including the freedom to roam from their position. Okay, so that's that. For now, we'll move to the in transition aspect. When opposition has lost the ball, we counter press. Why? Because we want to win the ball as high as possible. And initiate attack as quickly as possible. So you go for the counter press. When possession has been won, immediately you counter. That's the focus of the team, to win the ball as quickly as possible and to score as fast as possible. And while countering, if you observe the arrow sensor, you will see that when countering, almost all your players are involved. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And most times, the deep line playmaker, you'll see him around this position, making it 8. So, when goalkeeper is in possession, use the instruction of distribute ball quickly. Asking the goalkeeper to distribute the ball quickly to operate at a quicker tempo when in possession, perhaps to increase urgency or instigate counter-attack. And distribute to area, will make use of distribute to fullbacks and centre-backs. And goalkeeper distribution type will make use of take short kicks. So that's that. So we're moving to the out of possession. Out of possession will make use of much higher defensive line, because like you all know, the Hansi Flick pattern of play focuses on staying as high as possible and making the pitch more compact. So that's more compact for the opposition. And line of engagement will make use of very high press. So that's that for the defensive shape. For the trigger press, we make use of them much more often. And for the prevent goalkeeper distribution, you activate this. You say prevent goalkeeper, short goalkeeper distribution, instruct forwards to press the opposition defense to try to prevent the goalkeeper building from the back. This forces the goalkeeper to play long or take big risks to distribute shots, and by taking such risks, your players might end up winning the area duels, or if he decides to go with a shorter kick, it might lead to the opposition making mistakes and you having a goal scoring opportunity. For tackling aspects, we didn't activate any of this. For defensive, because the mark tighter and mark harder actually covers for this, in my opinion. For defensive line, we make use of the step up more. We have the defenders to press typically higher up the pitch in an effort to compact the midfield space ahead of them and give the opposition less room to less room and unchallenged time on the ball. Okay. For pressing trap, we make use of trap outside. This trapping outside is in order to outnumber the opposition at the flank. So that's that for that. So basically this is your Hansi Flick pattern and your typical 4-3-3 formation with high press and higher defensive line. So basically you've seen the whole result, and at the end of the season I'll be giving you the end result of how the season went, because I know this is a short sample size or smaller sample size, but at the same time you've seen the results, you've seen the way it works and what have you. You've seen the results, you've seen the way it works. So basically what I'm trying to do at the end of the day tell you is that this style of play focuses on playing as wide as possible, moves to the final third as quickly as possible, take more risks with purpose, and one of the issues and one of the things you have to have in mind is you might end up conceding, but you end up outscoring the opposition, especially if you are making use of a stronger team like I am, which is Liverpool. But with Fiorentina, you saw the results was kind of sketchy, not really sketchy, because the only loss we had was against Juventus, which you saw in pre-season. They won us by 4, but in the league ended up playing a 1-0. And one of the things you have to understand about this is, okay, with this formation or style of play, there won't be too much side play. Or when I mean side play, I don't mean like you won't see most of your passes will be more riskier. There will be nothing like safe passes or anything like what you're seeing on your screen there. One touch, one pass, goal. And one of the things you have to understand is that one of the reasons this position is